Okay, good. They haven't actually started yet. Hey, so this is the ShuffleIT Championship round of 32, a match between Titandrake and kaplane. And I am Sharur, joined on commentary by JNails and Kilohertz. All right,
Howdy.
take it away.
So I was just starting to look at the board a little bit, right? Scrap is our plus buy, which is always a little awkward, but it's better than nothing. For draw, I've got plenty of draw between Alchemist, Hunting Party, and Imps.
There's another source of draw here which might happen, which is Wishing Well plus Secret Passage is a reliable way to get a lab out of two non-5 cost cards.
That is a nice synergy.
The only thing is, I guess it's going to be easier to buy, one Hunting Party in general than two of, or one each of Secret Passage and Wishing Well.
Yeah. I wouldn't pass up a Hunting Party to do that.
Right. I mean, getting them when you hit one of them when you hit 3 or 4, and then the other time makes some sense. Although you might just go for Wishing Well and exclusively, at least initially. Well, maybe not with Hunting Party, because having one of each works pretty well.
I assume as your single terminal, you're probably playing Tormentor.
Yeah. Assuming you're playing Scrap non-terminally, which pretty much have to.
I would think you likely are. Like late in the game, what you're probably doing is scrapping a silver into like plus buy action and silver, and then redrawing the silver.
Right.
If you play it terminal, you can't redraw that silver.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at their specific draws well enough.
kaplane has not been drawing well so far, as turn 6 buys a seller might indicate.
Well, he drew 2 wells actually on turn 6, going to turn 7.
Okay. Well done.
Haha.
Right.
Yeah, I do think Scrap is plus buy is a lot stronger when you have a village and you don't need to take the plus action. Like if you can go, when you're scrapping silver, if you can go like card action buy, for example, so that it's not a stop card, that's nice. Or if you have a lot of draw and you can go like, or so I said card action, I meant card coin buy, something like that, or card silver. I cannot. Silver, you have to get the silver back, right?
Yeah.
You can do action silver buy, and you're missing out on draw. 2 draw, I guess, but that's not the worst in a kingdom with this much draw. I think you can live with that.
Yeah, you
can. Not getting a ton of plus buy. Like you're playing 2 or 3 buys per turn, not 4 or 5, because each buy is kind of costly in terms of 2 draw.
Right.
But then it could be worse. It could be a lot worse.
I guess what I was trying to get at and explaining very badly is that I think on a kingdom with villages, like Scrap is plus buy, it just feels more powerful to play with. Like it, you were saying it was awkward earlier, but I actually think, or I forget who said it was awkward.
I said it, but whatever.
I actually think it's really not if you have draw and villages. Like I think it's actually quite strong. But without the village, it definitely gets weakened significantly.
So Snakeface in chat is saying Scrap Silver did not seem like the thing to open. I mean, it's not terrible, but like I kind of agree. I'm surprised by Scrap Silver. I would think something like double Scrap or Scrap Wishing Well or Scrap Secret Passage even. Probably not that one so much. Yeah, double Scrap or Scrap Wishing Well are the two that stick out to me. Like the silver suggests kaplane really wants to hit 5, and like the 5s are good. But like, the 3s and 4s are not bad either, and double Scrap gets you trashed faster, and you can gain silvers off the estate.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely understand wanting to get Hunting Party, but I think it's fair to say that the presence of like the Wishing Well Secret Passage thing makes it tolerable to fail hitting 5 in your first shuffle.
Yeah.
Although, I guess with Basilica... Well, but I mean, it's not like if you hit 5, you're going to buy a Wishing Well because of Basilica. So.
Right. Yeah.
Seems you're not going to get many Basilica points for a while.
Right.
I also like that Titandrake's got a Tormentor and already has an Imp.
Yeah, they had a hand with Wishing Well and Tormentor, and they played the Tormentor and not the Well, so they could get an Imp.
I think that's reasonable. I'm always a big fan of not playing well. I try to put that in practice in my games. But, I mean, an Imp here is obviously just like a laboratory, so it's a lot better than getting a Hex. Or giving a Hex, more precisely.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what price point they were hitting that turn, but if you're hitting 5 at that point, there's not really any reason to keep going.
Yeah.
Start going, I guess.
Like, even if you could hit 5, right? Like the thing you're buying is probably a Hunting Party, which is a little. I mean, it's marginally better than Imp, but not like significantly better.
Yeah.
So like an Imp and something else does seem pretty nice.
Right. Yeah, and probably is better than a Hunting Party and a Curse, or it's a Hex rather.
One thing you could consider here, I'm assuming it never came up, but like supposing you know that you've got like one other card in your hand in Tormentor, you could play this Way of the Horse and then play Tormentor, and you would have no other cards in play.
That is actually true. Yeah.
Let's say you had Wishing Well and like 4 coppers, and you knew Tormentor was up next. You could Horse the Well, draw the Tormentor, and still get an Imp, which is like a improvement over the Wishing Well.
Agreed. Yeah, that's an interesting point. I probably would not have thought of that.
I'm gonna guess these coppers don't get trashed very fast, if at all. In fact,
it's really
Titandrake
tough.
probably has no reason to ever trash coppers. I think now that they've got a Tormentor in their deck, kaplane could like consider trashing coppers since they don't have another terminal yet.
Yeah, I mean it's tough because you certainly want to trash the estates first, not only because you're getting more benefit out of it, but because like you don't want your Hunting Parties tripping over the estates. And then like you say, yeah, once you get a terminal into your deck, it's like, wow, I want to play that more than I want to trash 1 copper probably. Scrap as a copper trasher is just not a good time.
What do you get here? Could be Party and Well or 2 passages. I mean, 2 passages is pretty much like 2 labs here, given that you've got a bunch of wells and none of them. I'd also be considering adding Payload at this point, because I think they're drawing their deck, so maybe
Tormentor something?
Tormentor Silver, Tormentor Well, something like that.
Yeah, I think Tormentor would be a good pickup here for payload purposes. There's not like a good way to ramp payload with scrap. Like you can do it a little bit if you take like if you don't take buy and you take like action coins silver off of silver, but that's very slow.
Masterpiece might be considerable. You can shove a bunch of silvers in your deck and scrap the Masterpiece.
Yeah.
I was actually just thinking that it might be the best way to get some payload in your deck once you've got deck control. The risk is, of course, that you're adding a ton of silvers.
I like it better than like picking up a gold or something, though.
Yeah. I like a lot of things better than buying gold.
That's fair. But I mean...
having a massive silvers, obviously, it's not ideal for Hunting Party. The one context in which Hunting Party seems worse than Laboratory is when you have kind of like a single monolithic like treasure payload or something, and then you have like 5 silvers in the bottom of your deck, and your Hunting Party just like is incapable of drawing them.
Yeah, I mean that can already potentially happen with these decks with coppers as it is. I mean the Wishing Wells and the Secret Passages that they don't have potentially can help with that, but you do have to draw things in the right order.
I wonder if Alchemist is worth considering. Or maybe, I mean, the time for that probably would have been sooner if you were going to do it, not necessarily now.
I don't think so. I think trying to...
Ooh, is that Kaplane's only scrap?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, I
think so. A lot. That's Kaplane's only plus buy.
Yeah.
So he'll now have to spend this entire turn just buying a scrap to get it back. You can't play with no plus buy.
I don't think so. I mean, he could choose to pivot to just single provincing, but I think that just loses. Especially given that he's down 8-2 in Basilica points and is miserable.
I'd be pretty miserable too if my opponent trashed my only plus buy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
War hitting a cultist? How does that even work? I guess with
Highway?
Cost reduction.
Mhm.
Okay. That actually sounds pretty nice to me. You draw 3 cards.
So something N.A. Smith and Topher have pointed out that I assume none of us was paying close enough attention to at the time is Titandrake apparently horsed a wishing well despite having no reason to.
Wish that was guaranteed. Presumably, Titandrake didn't actually know what the card was or wouldn't have done that.
Perhaps Titandrake is just second guessing their predictive abilities after the earlier scenario where they wished for province.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, real power move.
All right, you got 12. Is it greening time? Titandrake thinks it is. I think that could have been one more turn, but I don't like the wishing well over Secret Passage, I don't think.
Yeah, I think at this point, getting a secret passage would be good, both like for the setting up the wishing wells, and for giving hunting party something else to find that's not a stop card.
Mm-hmm. In any case, Titandrake does seem to be in a very dominant position.
You can
Yeah.
actually use secret passage to set up your hunting parties too, for that matter.
That's true. You can get it to skip over it, like put your second province 2 from the top, and then hunting party will discard it.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I really don't see a way back in this for kaplane, barring a dud from Titandrake.
Yeah, this is looking pretty over.
Well, does it make sense as kaplane to try to play the long game and go for duchies? I think the answer is yes. Just because, like, you're losing if you fall down the province line, and maybe you're just like trying to outbuild them very slowly
Yeah.
has some success.
I mean,
I think you definitely want to, as Kaplan here, to go for Duke Duchy because you just rushing provinces is just losing strictly.
there are worlds in which you win competing on provinces, but they aren't. They're the minority of the small minority of them.
It's going to be hard to outbuild, though, because it's not like Titandrake has been ignoring building. They're in just as good a deck control position, but they also are up in points.
Yeah, although they did just go for province with 12 money, which isn't like a huge amount over province. So depending on how well they are able to, like, now they hit 10 money, right? So that's not gonna allow for a lot of building. If
I would have thought like one more kind of building seemed good.
Mm-hmm.
I think Titandrake can afford to take a turn off from greening though, and should.
Yeah, so it's obviously possible to be like, I made a mistake, and then second guess yourself and like go back to building. Certainly, like in the abstract, the best thing to do would be always to build one more turn before buying any provinces, not buy some province and go back to building. Given that the provinces only hurt your deck for those turns that they're in it, and then other cards help your deck.
Yeah, I think you could probably imagine scenarios in which that's not the case, but I don't think we're in one of them. I do really think there that it would have been better to go for Secret Passage over Well, by the way.
Regarding what Topher said, I mean, I agree. This doesn't seem like an ideal kingdom for Duchy Duke, because buys are like a bit in short supply, so you want to be buying like 2 provinces per turn, then like 3 duchies or something like that.
You also
none of these is like a very likely line for kaplane winning. So much as just like Duchy Duke seems like the slightly better Hail Mary when we're talking about like 2% versus 5% chance of winning type stuff.
Yeah, that's also the other problem with Duchy Duke is, aside from needing more gains, that you have now double the things for your hunting parties to stop on.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that is true. It's 2 differently named cards. Although arguably you can stick with just duchy. No, you can't really.
Well, I mean, initially you do just buy the duchies, but at some point you're going to have to get the dukes if you're going to win anyway.
Yeah, and you probably need to do it in some balance because piles are getting low. You empty duchies, then they can probably just empty wells.
Yeah, that's actually also a good point.
Right, like on some boards where there's not pile pressure, you can legitimately try to take 7 or 8 duchies before you touch Duke.
So Kaplan picks up a gold there, which is interesting.
Curious.
Not sure what the logic is behind that.
I mean,
like I
something
think
for hunting party.
I think if I tend to think the masterpiece would still have been better there. Like maybe you don't want 3 additional silvers, but
It's really hard to say what's good because it all looks bad. But I would think for kaplane, you would want at least one more plus buy, so like a second scrap, and then a bit more draw because your deck's going to have to run for a while.
right.
And you're still probably like 2 turns out from even trying to touch the duchies. And like
More-
it's all going to be too slow, but like you got to try.
More draw at this point for Kaplan has got to be Secret Passage, I guess, because it is a fair point that you really can't afford, even like for long run reasons. You can't afford to probably touch the wishing wells at all.
Never too late for alchemist.
I suppose.
Yeah, this all looks real bad. I would think this is Province Passage for Titandrake.
Yeah, I could.
Could be
I would not be
province
surprised
well.
if he goes Province well, but yeah, I think Province Passage would be better.
That plague is annoying.
Yeah, it's also arguably a reason to pick up a second scrap, like over and above what we were already talking about, so that you can trash the curse without locking yourself out of plus buy for a turn. I mean, if you want to pick up a second scrap anyway, you keep the curse around this turn and then trash it next turn, hopefully.
Yep.
Well, this is not so good though.
RIP. Alright, kaplane's not even gonna try the Duchy Duke thing.
Yeah, I get the decision there because you're like, oh, I have 9 in one buy. Like, what am I gonna get that's gonna make a difference? I think scrap may actually still be the correct buy there, but I understand why you would be tempted to take province.
I mean, like, this is the sort of thing where it's not just a like, oh, I've got more money than necessary, I guess I'll score some points. Because touching provinces at all, I think, is like a very serious committal. Like, you're lowering the province pile, so now you're kind of all in on, I'm going to beat you on provinces.
Oh, I agree.
If you want to win Duchy and Duke, you can't afford to like lower provinces any more at all than they already are.
Right.
Because it's your clock down.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying, I think I can understand, like, I can understand the feeling of like, you know, this isn't working. I'm not drawing right now anyway. I don't have multiple buys. I'm not going to be able to get multiple buys reliably. So yeah, I mean, coming back on provinces looks pretty hopeless, but I mean, it's not like the Duchy Duke thing is very likely to work either. So I don't know. I understand it.
If kaplane wants to preserve mental energy, I think the ideal way to do that is to press the mental energy button in the top right.
Yeah. I don't know how much of a thing that actually is for people. It doesn't feel like it's a thing for me when I play, but maybe I'm just bad at recognizing those situations. I mean, every once in a while it comes up.
It. Just from like looking at some of my matches, like I definitely feel like I play worse as the set goes on. Especially when it's a really long set, my opponent's playing very slowly.
Well, I mean, but is that like unique to you relative to your opponent, or is it something where
it's not really unique to me? It's just like I definitely think mental energy is a big thing, and it takes a lot of probably very intentional ways to think about and stay like engaged during a match in order to still play your best after 5 games in 2 hours or something.
I think I'm with Sharur on how this plays out, which is that like if you're really thinking about like the resign button in terms of like does this maximize my chance of winning the match, the question really should not be like is this going to tire me out so much as does this tire me out more than my opponent?
Yeah, is it
And so-
asymmetrical, and if it is, why?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
So
wondering.
maybe you're like look, E Honda, he's built up stamina for this. He practices Dominion marathons. I know I can't take him in the long game, so I might as well resign as quickly as possible to save my limited energy. Whereas PPP, he's got like the attention span of that I can outlast, and I'll draw it out and hopefully win the long term.
If that's like something that people are thinking about, it's above my level. I will just say that.
I don't think I've ever seriously had that thought before. Usually for me, I'm like, this is over. I'm just going to resign. Not for strategic purposes so much as just like, all right, I'm bored of this. Let's get to the next game.
Yeah, when I resign for reasons other than the game is like obviously unwinnable, it's like or like for reasons that are close to what we're talking about, it's usually more like this game is like so unfun that even though like I might have a chance of winning, I like am not interested in playing it out to find out, which is pretty rare for me.
It's hardcore. I think the move is not so much to like continue to legitimately try to win, but just like click cards superficially, so that like you at least have the passing semblance of trying to win, but you're not really thinking about it, and your opponent's still actually thinking, and so you're sitting there like getting rested.
Just like just start reading a book while you're playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
I don't know. Reading a book might actually take some more mental energy. I don't know.
It depends on what sort of thing recharges you, I guess. But yeah, I'm thinking about like games where like I'm really there's like a huge mismatch from something like Black Market or Tournament where I just feel like, oh god, like this is like it's this like uphill battle that I'm very likely to lose, and I'm getting attacked and my opponent is not getting attacked, and it's just not fun, like that sort of thing. Which is like a different is different than like trying to solve the puzzle of how to come back or what, like whether I can.
Yeah.
So Kaplan grabs the duchy again.
I start looking at depending on the time of day, I might start drinking, which seems actively bad for the rest of the match. Yeah. I can't say I've ever played Drunk Dominion. I don't think that would go well for me.
Oh, I have an inebriated account. I have an alt I only play on when I'm under the influence.
Nice.
I appreciate Naismith's willingness to be the one person still actively paying attention to the decisions happening in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, this game has been over for a while. I'm saving my commentator mental energy.
Yeah,
that is definitely a thing, and is because we don't have opponents, so there's it's only like a negative sum.
I don't know. I treat you as my opponents.
Oh no.
Alright, but this is a province for Titan, and then probably a resign. Maybe we'll get
I think will click on province. That's my guess.
Clicking on province is a reasonable way to
playing
resign.
It out.
You're only 16 points down with a whole province left. It's really anyone's game here.
Yeah. Could go either way. So
look at that 50/50. Draw. That was exciting number of cards to go through.
All right. Interesting game one. Not a terribly exciting board. A lot of small little tricks on it, but overall pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
I think it could have led to some interesting in-game decisions had the early builds been more equal, but it seemed like the plane had some worse luck there.
Yeah, their draws like turns 3 through 7 were pretty bad.
By the way, for anybody who doesn't know, the format for this is first to 3.5 wins. So we will have at least 4 games, but we could have as many as 7. I think, yeah, if it goes to game 7, it ties, second player wins, correct?
Correct.
This kingdom looks fun. A lot of interesting decisions. This is the sort of one where like you have to be careful to play it in the right order mid-turn, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Menagerie looks excellent.
Yeah.
All these cards look great.
You got Storeroom and
powerful
Haven
kingdoms.
to like help you activate your menageries. Bounty Hunter too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different options for thinning.
Yeah, there's so much to do. I want all the cards. If I had to pick one card that's least likely to get gotten, probably Salvager. What's the super high roll? You're trying to trash the Squire to get Witch.
Salvager does give you really nice endgame control, but yeah, I agree that early on it probably gets dominated by Bounty Hunter
Menage
and Exorcist.
What do we think about opening Menagerie?
Just like
a little idealistic.
I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah.
Great card here, but it's not a great card for a few turns.
I mean, I've seen it work out in the opening before when there's shelters on the board, and hopefully like some heirlooms too or something. But
yeah, shelters plus heirlooms, I could see that. I wouldn't. Shelters by itself would not motivate me unless I really, really didn't want silver or something.
I was thinking Storeroom Exo, because you can really cycle through your deck fast. Like you see Storeroom turn 3 and not your Exo initially, then you discard 4, draw 4 more, and you're already most of the way through your deck. Bounty Hunter Silver seems like the other thing. That one gets you to 5 faster. You get to contest the old witch stuff.
We don't care about like having all of our estates in exile, right? Because like there's a lot of points available on the board, and so like
I think
that's not a reason to prioritize Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, I would happily trash estates for wisps.
Right. There are boards where I think that like can be a relevant consideration. I just don't think this is one.
This seems like a board with plenty of plus buy and just in general plenty of support for a good engine. So I don't think something like exiling your in a state versus turning into a wisp should really matter.
Yeah.
The game's gonna come down to something bigger than that.
Yeah, the only reason I exile on a state is that very first one for the 3 coins, not for the victory points. Other than that, I'd much rather be trashing my estates with exorcists. Everything else being equal.
Too bad you can't crown Exo. Yeah, I agree with that. That'd be nice.
Truly trash.
Idea for a new card, a throne room that works on night cards?
Yeah, well that would have really had to been a Nocturne.
Hey, alright, I can dream. Maybe the new expansion has more night cards.
But you'd be able to play it.
That's a lot of curses.
On like
not that this matters, but my version of it would be a night card itself that would let you play a night card twice. Anyway, not about that. Yeah, Titan is eating a lot of curses here.
Yeah, I slightly misread that. I thought he had gotten 3 curses, but one of the curses was the Wisp draw. So, for kaplane, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So giving out 2 curses in 1 turn is pretty strong.
Unfortunately, this witch just draws some stuff dead. Oh, probably a crown here. Oh, another witch? Okay.
I think a second witch was not unreasonable.
No, I actually thought that they already had 2, but that's Kaplan.
Yeah. Bounty Hunter activates Menagerie, very nice.
Crown the Wisp?
I think so.
Yeah.
Crowning Squire is not very exciting.
Now I think crown. And you could also consider like Haven Menagerie or something, because Menagerie seems excellent here. But I think at the moment, Crown still seems better than Menagerie in the short term.
Right now, I think that focusing on Old Witch draw seems a little bit better than Menagerie just because of the curses.
Yeah, like I think give it a turn or two, and Menagerie's going to start to look great.
Yeah. Well, curses and coppers, I should say.
And Titan does seem behind. And one unfortunate consequence of a kingdom like this, where you're giving out all the curses early, is you're not really expecting a very long game, because one pile's already fully out.
Right.
And so you can't expect to build your way back into it, I don't think.
There's a bunch of easily emptied piles to go with it too. Squires, menageries.
Yeah. Yep. Another thing is that in a longer game, you'd expect that you would be able to clean up a bunch of curses off your opponent's Old Witch plays. But if the game just doesn't go on for that much after curses run, then you don't really get that opportunity.
Right.
Which is one of the reasons it's so crazy. Old Witch gives you 3 cards. It's just such a fast card.
Oh, man. That is some brutal stuff right there.
Yeah.
It would indeed be quite nice if Exo were like a non-terminal action card instead of a night card.
Yes, but I don't know. I like our Exo just as it is.
I mean, it is non-terminal. Like, that part's cool, but yeah, it's not being able to crown it does feel pretty bad right now. I guess that's one argument for having a salvager in your deck. I mean, obviously you can crown Bounty Hunter as well, but you don't as much want to be exiling the curses.
Oh, well, then do I have good news for you, Shanahan? Old Witch already does not trash coppers. And Old Witch that trashed coppers on top of everything else would be absurd. It's like, get 5-2, claim your win.
That would be like a supercharged version of Masquerade, kind of, sort of, right? Like, draw more cards, and you get to trash a card and give your opponent a bad card, but it's a bad card you didn't even have in your deck.
Yeah, but what we need is a cursing variant of Masquerade. So interesting. Kaplan exiles an Old Witch. You planning to get it back?
That is curious to me.
I mean, I guess if you're transitioning to Menagerie draw, it's not ridiculous to just say, leave it out there.
I would have strongly considered exoing it if the logic was just, I don't want to trash my opponent's curses for them. But maybe the three coins was more important. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to move towards Menagerie here, because Menagerie is going to start to look a lot better.
From a tempo standpoint, I guess that the 3 coins is nicer, and Exo can always hit Old Witch this turn if that's what he wants to do.
I think as kaplane, I might consider Potion this turn. Feels like it might be about time for that. Like, you're actually not unhappy to add Vineyards early, even with Menagerie around, because you can Bounty Hunter.
That is
like,
true.
Turn, and you're good to go.
That is true. Although, yeah, you also get the battlefield points for what that's worth. But
kaplane could also just buy 6 estates and just be like, I will empty estates and menageries before you have any hope of coming back, and I will have 12 battlefield points to show for it. There's a lot of paths to the win here. Just pick your favorite.
That might actually, I mean, that would at least be easier. You wouldn't have to get the potion.
Yeah.
This could be like what? Potion Crown?
I would think Potion, Squire, Menagerie. is the
Okay.
first thing that comes to my mind while I've given this all of 2 seconds of thought. You could do Squire Storeroom, obelisk points.
I like getting a storeroom.
They also can take their old witch out of exile at some point if they want to, but it doesn't look like they do. Oh, Menagerie. Why are you so good?
Titandrake should consider having fewer curses.
Was it really an 8-2 split, as Freaky said?
Oof, that is painful. There's 5 of them right there.
Yeah, there's
Think
4.
what's in the
There's
trash
4 in the
right now?
trash.
Yeah. Sure ain't looking good. I think you just set aside the Menagerie for next turn. It's more likely to do something next turn than right now.
Yeah. Whereas, yeah, Count would be nice. I mean, Chapel would be nice.
I guess you can't count on him.
Cathedral?
What I'm hearing is that trashing is good.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
This seems quite resignable.
I would not blame anybody for playing games out in a tournament like this. Single elimination bracket, you've already made it pretty far in. I would want to maximize my chances.
Now, for trashing purposes, I think second Bounty Hunter seems a lot better than second Exo to me, even if it means you don't get rid of the curse points, because Bounty Hunter will play a lot better with Menagerie than Exo will. Like, look at this hand that Titandrake has right now, and you see the
if it was, it's true. If it was a Bounty Hunter, I'd be a lot happier.
Does Kaplan win here? Do they have enough buys?
Let's see.
So there's only 1 Menagerie left and 6 Squires.
They certainly have enough buys.
Only 15 coins to empty piles. I don't know that Kaplan has 15 coins, but maybe they do with Bounty Hunter on like Exo plus maybe Squire gaining some silver, Storeroom getting some coins.
Storeroom is overdraw with Menagerie, so
yeah. This looks like very much a win. I mean, at a slight risk, you could score a ton of money off a Storeroom. I don't think they need to take that risk, though.
Bounty Hunter on
Exo, right?
Silver suggests to me that Kaplan might not be looking at that, but
I mean, can you Squire to gain a silver here? No, they're out of actions.
Yeah, so they're probably missing a win here. But like, oh no, they win next turn anyway. Can't really fault them for not scrutinizing too hard what to buy.
There's
they might still have it, is what I'm hearing. Yeah, they still got it.
You can crown Squire to get silver, but maybe you don't even need to. Yeah, it doesn't look like that's even necessary. Or just crown the silver.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So 2 games that have both been pretty big blowouts. One player got ahead and just kind of didn't let the other player come back at all.
Yeah, well, that player 2 is just really the better player here.
Kaplan forgot to exercise Menagerie for style points. So I'd have to say overall Titandrake is still a little bit ahead in the match.
That's a fair point. All right.
We got a horn board.
This looks awkward.
Yep.
Oh, no, I know it doesn't. This looks fine.
You have like mill diplo.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's also warehouse, so you can activate your diplomats and then...
Crown. I was thinking it was awkward for a second because like diplomat is the village, but I think you just play with crown and then you're fine. I don't even think I care much about activating diplomat. You might have 1 or 2, but like you're not. I don't think you need to use it as your main action.
Well,
I kind of want to, especially because it plays nicely with crown.
I just want all the crowns, all of them, every single one, because like all the ones you don't use for draw become extra horns of plenty, and you're very happy.
It is true that like Crown Diplomat by itself is enough to activate it once. So I mean, I know in general, yeah, you can like stack the crowns and get your plus actions that way. And I guess there are enough non-terminals that you can crown like Peddler and Mill, Warehouse. The lack of thinning makes me think you're gonna want some of the like sifting stuff anyway, though.
Yeah, like you don't want a bunch of treasures here. Maybe you take a silver to hit 5, but then on 3s, maybe like sages and warehouses seem better beyond that.
Yeah.
I think I would like 2 rangers. I mean, you don't need the plus buy that badly, but I feel like ranger's a pretty good reliability card because it means the first ranger you find draws 5 and it kicks your turn off, and then you
Yeah.
can reset the token, even if it does less in total than 2 rebels.
Right.
So
Also,
like
I
2
think
Well, it's
rangers.
also
Rebels
cheaper and it gives you
rebels.
plus
always
buy.
draws.
The battlefield mill thing is also notable. I mean, that's going to push them in the direction of picking up mills anyway. If like maybe they would have regardless, but
I think Mill is probably the best $4 buy here because it's really good at hitting 5. Like the only way Mill does not hit 5 if you see all 3 of your estates and not your silver.
right.
So it's very close to guaranteed. Plus, Mill is a good target for Crown. I would think first 5 is Rabble, then Horn of Plenty, then Crown. Just a rough guess. Might depend on exactly when you hit 5 and what's in your deck. Could go straight for Horn of Plenty if you have enough uniques to expect to hit like 3 or 4.
Yeah, because you don't need your horn initially to be picking up super expensive cards anyway.
Mm-hmm. I would not mind getting Fair at some point on a turn where I hit 4. It'll help you pick up extra peddlers. And having just like random like the money's not the most important thing with Horn of Plenty, but having random cantrips in your deck like Peddler, Mill, and Sage is just helpful for Horn of Plenty if you're using that as your main action.
Yeah.
Because you'll need to crown some source of non-terminal action to keep your turn going.
I don't know if I agree that battlefield is unimportant. I mean, if you get off the Horn of Plenty megaturn, like sure, the battlefield points are small potatoes comparatively, but if you assume the game is going to be close, like both players are going to do horn stuff and be jockeying for position in the end game, and having like a little bit of a lead can make a pretty big difference in terms of your end game position.
Yeah, I mean, horn games tend to go one of 2 ways, which is someone gets the big turn and then points don't matter because they take 7 provinces, or most of the time, players mirror and someone gets enough gains to pile out, in which case those battlefield points might be very important.
Yeah.
My guess is, relatively speaking, this is a kingdom where battlefield is on the less important end. Like 1 turn sooner to the horn stuff probably beats losing battlefield by 4 or 8 points, is my guess.
There's 20 in the supply. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, so you don't have to be as scared about losing the horn split.
Mm-hmm. You still need, some number of them just because you can't crown what you don't have, but
And
As
you need to
kaplane, I
use
think you
some of
don't
those
crown
crowns
this
to
ranger.
draw.
because you said you don't crown the ranger because you're
I don't
happy to
think
just
I
hit
would.
4 and you want to flip the token
Yeah.
over. Yeah, that makes
I
sense to me.
don't see much reason to trigger the shuffle. Now you got a better ranger. No, I was about to say better ranger next.
Fair is
Apparently you don't.
interesting.
Fair seems fair.
Yeah.
Like I was saying a second ago, it helps you get peddlers and stuff. You're about at the point where you're like,
yeah, I guess the peddler thing is a good point. I was thinking right now you're only really like drawing and having a lot of money if you play the ranger, which is giving you plus buy anyway. But yeah, being able to pick up peddlers is pretty nice.
It's basically like a free peddler per turn that you don't dud, and the money is not nothing. I'm a little surprised Kaplane popped that ranger. I would have been happy to just draw a little bit with the diplomat, I think, and keep the ranger flipped for a turn where it is helpful.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that Ravel's still at 10. I guess it's still early.
Oh, yeah, only one horn being gained is also a little surprising. I mean, I understand, like, Crown is a very good card, but I would have thought that you go relatively early for Horns of Plenty and then use that for gains. Um, it's not unreasonable to get a bunch of crowns. I don't think it's that bad. Just a little surprising.
I do think you won at least one horn in your deck like pretty quickly. So I guess in that respect, I'm surprised that kaplane hasn't picked one up.
It's possible. Maybe this wasn't a good turn. No, there clearly were good turns for it. He literally just bought a crown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting the impression Titandrake has the lead. Although that is an ugly hand for Titan.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate.
And an ugly one for kaplane.
I wonder if it would have been worth crowning that warehouse. It's not like the most exciting thing to crown, obviously, but
If his Ranger token had still been flipped over, I think crowning warehouse would have been very
yeah, that's a
reasonable.
good point. That would have looked a lot nicer.
I just realized if you play crowns during your buy phase to double treasures, that makes Peddler cheaper.
It does, yeah.
That actually was potentially relevant to kaplane's last turn, in which he discarded the crown with the warehouse instead of playing it. He could have kept 3 coppers and a crown or 4 coppers. He chose 4 coppers.
Oh, that's
seem equivalent. But perhaps if you think that Peddler is the best $4 buy, then it would actually have been a
the problem is it takes more clicks to do it that way, though. So
yeah, I imagine
Gotta save those clicks.
I want to click on this.
And click efficiency is definitely the most important consideration when you're playing Dominion.
Yeah, huge. Dan Brooks, for example, very inefficient clicker. Poor fella misses the cards 90% of the time.
Don't forget to practice your tech skill, kids. So what are we getting off this horn?
About time for a second horn, perhaps. Could also be a rabble.
Yeah, it's being crowned, so I like picking up one horn with it at least.
Oh, you're getting 2 things off this horn. Yeah, that's not bad.
Crown and horn?
Crown and ranger.
Interesting. Crown and ranger.
I think ranger's pretty reasonable. Titandrake has none yet. I think generally the way to do ranger well is like you pick up 1 at some point, then you set the token down, and then you add a second one, and then you just want to be in this position of having 2 rangers in your deck, and the token starting face down, so that you can play the first ranger, draw 5, and then reset it at the end of the turn. That's way better than the reverse of like taking 2 rangers first and having to play both of them on the turn to draw anything.
So Titandrake did ultimately take a second horn, just bought it instead of gaining it, which amounts to the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable set of buys from and gains from Titandrake.
Yeah, I was thinking about whether Titandrake should consider fair at this point, like whether you can expect to gain enough peddlers off of that going forward to make that worthwhile.
All right, horn time for kaplane. Well, a few turns ago, I think was horn time for kaplane.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's basically just horn and 3 peddlers here.
Yep, sounds good. That is another good reason for ranger over rabble, as it would get you the peddlers while they're still there.
I wonder about crowning the diplomat there relative to crowning the ranger.
I guess, like I was saying a second ago, they might have just been looking to set that token down for future turns.
Titandrake has a second ranger though, right?
No, kaplane has both, or kaplane had both before.
Oh,
Titandrake.
okay, never mind. Okay.
Yeah, if they had 2 in their deck already, I absolutely would have crowned the ranger. Second ranger, peddler, and another crown.
Not picking up the second ranger is kind of weird. I mean, I guess if you crown the ranger, then that works just as well, but you have to pair them up.
Yeah, the crown does make ranger a bit more flexible, so the player I was describing is like less essential, and you can play around it a bit. But I still would have liked a second ranger there. The Rebel attack is actually going to be not bad. Like, on the one hand, it does top deck mills, doesn't it?
I don't think so. It discards actions, so mill is an action.
Yeah.
So it would, like, if you play enough Rebels, your opponent is likely to have a lot of their states on top.
Yeah, I mean, with warehouse and mill, well, I mean, the mill isn't so much what matters for it, but warehouses should be reasonably good at dealing with that.
Chad is pointing out that kaplane triggered quite the questionable shuffle, and I think this Crown Ranger here was a desperation play to fix the guaranteed dud hand he was about to have.
Right. I was looking at whether he should have Crown Ranger earlier in the turn, before he triggered the shuffle, like when the token was in the other orientation, so he would have drawn and then flipped it back over by crowning the ranger.
Yep. Unfortunate hand here for kaplane, and piles are dangerously low.
Yeah, that is pretty brutal hand.
Titandrake also has something of a dud, but a lot less bad of a dud. They'll get 3/5 costs here, which is definitely better than whatever kaplane's about to do.
Yeah, the piles being this low,
I think my buy here is either mill or duchy.
I was gonna say mill. I could see duchy though. And obviously you don't pick it up with the horn, but
I think your gain here could be rabble horn. Like, obviously Titandrake doesn't know kaplane's about to dud, and some might want to play it safe to avoid the
there's not any risk of Kaplan getting 6 mills though, right? Kaplan doesn't have the gains for that. I don't think. Kaplan has.
Probably not.
Does Kaplan have a second? Oh, okay. Kaplan does have a second horn. So I guess if you crown the horn a couple times and get the ranger buys, maybe Kaplan could empty the mills. But
So weird edge case. I think if you crown a horn and that gets you to 8 distincts, and you pop it for a province, then when you play the horn the second time, it
it's
won't
not
be
in play. Yeah.
So you can only get up to 7.
Yeah.
I've definitely been in that situation more than once. It took like 5 times of losing to that before I finally realized that you either want 9 unique, or the alternative is just to make your first gain with the horn, just some random thing.
Mm-hmm.
Play 1 horn, gain a non-victory card, and then the rest of the crown horns work.
Yeah. So Titandrake did pick up another ranger here.
That's fun to me.
Which, yeah.
Yeah, anyways, going back to the second thing, you still want to be careful about piles, even if you don't think kaplane can lower, because with decks that are this unreliable, there's a very real risk that, like, you dud next turn, kaplane builds, just like gets more horns and crowns, and then piles out the following turn. Is like,
yeah, that's true. But you also have to look at, like, what are you going to be doing if you do dud? Like, are you going to be able to, like, at least score a little bit more and put yourself in a position where Kaplane doesn't have the ability to end the game with a lead, that sort of thing. But so interesting that Titandrake went for estate to score there.
That surprises me.
And did not take a peddler. I was thinking mill peddler. Yeah, crowning the ranger seems
Bad.
really bad.
Kaplane has done that more than once, right? This is like we're not a Crown Ranger specifically, but like flip Ranger token for a dead draw.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one reason to do it might be if you're looking at potentially drawing some horns and at least getting some gains out that way. Though even then, at most you're gonna have. Is this Kaplane the one with the silver?
Good question.
Because you're at most you're gonna have Ranger, Crown, Copper, Horn, and maybe Silver. But that's like only if you draw. Like
he does
really
not have the
fortunately.
silver, so for Kaplane, it would be a 4-cost card max.
Right. So yeah, it seems quite dubious.
And like mill is good, but you don't really want to kill your horn for the mill.
No. I mean, getting a diplomat is fine, right? But like, I don't know that gaining any 4-cost card is worth putting yourself in a worse position for future turns.
Yeah, I would not have wasted the Ranger token on that. I mean, maybe again, I don't think this is a good enough reason, but maybe Kaplane's thought is like, my main draw is those 2 Rangers. I've already seen both of them, and so I just want to advance through this set of cards as quickly as I can because I know the rest of my deck is also going to dud.
But had Kaplane seen they haven't seen their other Ranger. They still haven't.
No, they were both in hand. They had 2 Rangers and a Crown. So they know they don't have the draw cards in the rest of their like 20 cards or whatever. And
yeah, that's right. It was 2 Rangers. Okay.
Like,
yeah, that's a good
I'm
point.
going to dud like 3 turns in a row here. Crowning the Ranger sucks, but it makes it 2 turns or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, Kaplane should have some other cards in their deck capable of doing something, though, other than the 2 Rangers. I mean, right, like the warehouse, diplomat, mill, that sort of thing. Rounds. Well, this has been a very roller coaster match so far.
Overwhelming player 2 advantage. Player 1 is getting crushed in every one of these games.
Yeah.
It hasn't been close yet.
Yeah, I suppose if you look at it as player 1 and player 2 rather than as Kaplane and Titandrake, then it's been a very steady, even-keeled match.
Player 2 is clearly the better player here.
Yeah.
Titandrake is being much more careful than he needs to be. If he saw all of Kaplane's hands, he would just be like, yeah, whatever, I got this win. Let me click some cards.
I mean, I think they're looking for a win.
If the question is like, is there any chance Titandrake wins this turn? Maybe. If the question is like, is there any chance Kaplane wins? No.
Let's see. So currently 3 crown gains plus 5 buys. I mean, obviously, there's more to be drawn with the peddler at the very least. Yeah, I don't see a way to get all of the gains right now necessary.
Yeah, I don't see a win here, but you can certainly set up to win in another turn or 2.
Well, and I mean, maybe you know, crown peddler, play rabble, and maybe draw into something. I don't. Yeah, it's unlikely that you draw into anything but money at this point, right?
What play can you possibly be making right now other than crown peddler, play rabble? I guess they're considering whether they want to save that crown. But
yeah, it's whether you want to use the crown on like a horn or something.
Yeah, they're not that. You got a bunch of junk down there. You've got to draw through it. Like, you really need to draw through it.
Well, if you want to draw through it as far as possible, you crown the rabble, but that may not be a good idea.
Oh, right, messenger. Actually, I forgot that exists.
Yeah,
a very valid point.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so yeah, maybe you just play Messenger and Crown Horn rather than
Interesting thought. The rabble actually really helps kaplane.
Yeah, can't
a
beat
lot.
that cycling.
Now, to be fair, Titandrake doesn't know how much it helps kaplane. They don't know that both of kaplane's rangers have already missed in this shuffle. They've only seen one of them. But yeah, like rabble does advance through kaplane's deck a bunch. Should they know that the other ranger has already been discarded? I'm not sure how they would know that.
yeah. I don't think you can just assume the kaplane Crown Ranger for that reason. I mean, maybe, but I don't know. That seems.
I assume what Freaky is saying is like if you like psychoanalyze kaplane, you're like, why would he crown a ranger? That seems like a really dumb play. And you think about it for a bit, and you come to the conclusion that I came to. That was just like, oh well, because kaplane knows his entire turn is shot. The only way he could know that is if he had both rangers in hand. And you do this sort of like the thing you'd see in like a detective like crime serial TV show where the like
right, but I don't think
I know what's going on all along. I wouldn't give myself nearly that much confidence in Titandrake's position if I couldn't also see kaplane's hand.
Honestly, I think it would even not. I don't even think it would be a good idea to try to think about that sort of thing if you're actually playing the game. You have so many other more important things to focus on, like than like trying to second guess like why your opponent is making the decisions that they're making, like with something like that. I don't know. I mean, maybe somebody with more mental bandwidth than I have can do that, but I gotta just think about how to optimize my own plays. Crown Horn still only gave 8 gains, right? And that you need 9 gains to empty piles.
Or 1 extra horn. 9 uniques. Oh, never mind. You're asking a different question. I misinterpreted.
Yeah, they were talking about a win, and I didn't ever see Titandrake have the ability to like get up to 9 gains, but I may have. Like Johnson's saying before crowning Peddler he could have, but I only counted 8 gains at that point, which is 1 short of emptying piles.
Well, keep in mind you can also buy Messenger, which is something.
Oh, that's true. I guess if you Messenger mill. I think mill is better than province. Yeah.
That sounds true to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I guess if you really want to make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position where kaplane might like sneaky pile out.
Yeah.
But I don't really think that was
none of it looks
too much of a concern.
I think this is quite decisively Titandrake's game. Maybe this turn. So do you play the warehouse now? Looks like the answer is yes. I think you crown this diplomat.
It's really this is really like a complex board to play from a tactical standpoint. Like deciding where and when to use the crowns is not trivial at all.
Yeah, because crowning diplomat from a hand of only 4 cards actually gets you the plus action twice, which seems real nice.
From a hand of 4 cards. Yeah.
Oh wow, this is the first mental energy button we've seen pressed. The reserves are running low. Yeah, player 1 so far in this match has been very willing to just sit there and take the beating until the very end.
Stop hitting him, he's already dead.
All right, so we got.
It is 3 over player 1, which means 2-1. Oh, sorry, player 2, which means 2-1 for Titandrake.
Yep.
So there's some interesting golden decky things you can do here between Sanctuary and Bishop.
I don't think you need to do it though because of Storyteller. If Storyteller didn't exist, I'd be really looking at Sanctuary golden deck things, but you can draw here pretty big.
Are we going for familiar?
It's a good question.
Mm,
So one of the opens is Page.
I'm leaning towards no.
I'm indecisive. Part of what makes me consider it is like all the other things that I might consider opening suck. And you can get in like the curses will all be gotten in, or most of them, I think, before you can get champion down. So champion doesn't seem super relevant to this question.
But if you're opening Page, right, like you're not gonna hit 3P if you open Page Potion. So then
That doesn't seem that unlike. I don't know what the stats are, but it seems not bad.
No, it's pretty unlikely to hit 3 potion unless you open with something that gives you economy. Or does some cycling, like sifting. I think Page Potion is not very favored to grab familiar.
yeah, I don't know what the stats are either, but it's essentially the same as, Potion nothing. So you can just evaluate it that way, and I'm
That's a very hot
don't know.
take in chat from Freaky that you should almost never get Bishop. You should almost never open with Bishop. That's for sure. Bishop is a horrendous opener.
Yeah.
I think it's often a good source of money, or not money, VP.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a payload card. It's part of the payload on some boards, is what I would say about it.
They're just grabbing pages left and right here. Because there's not anything particularly better to do.
I
These
mean,
low
I don't
cost
mind
hands.
having some settlers, but getting more pages is probably better.
So first 5, Storyteller,
I
Sanctuary.
That's an interesting question. Which one of them you think does more to accelerate your pages, if that's what you're focused on?
All right, I've consulted the stats. Freaky gains Bishop in 49% of games,
Ah!
which, to be fair, is closer to never than it is to always by
Yep.
a slight hair.
Well, yeah, that's true. Freaky could just be playing really poorly with Bishop to get it so often.
Yeah, he's not known for his good play.
That's true, yeah.
So Titan's forced to eat some silver there. I wonder if you should have muled the
here.
treasure hunter.
Surely the answer is yes. Hitting 4. Oh, you hit 4 out of the way, actually. Doesn't? Yeah. Why would you take 3 silvers?
I just realized treasure hunter is another traveler that also is basically away. Yeah.
It is?
Well, it's basically mule.
I think the gaining silvers part is pretty notable.
Oh, definitely. It's just like the vanilla text is the same as like the stuff above the card.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Okay, so
yeah,
Titandrake did
not a
pick
great
up on
analogy.
that.
I don't see what's wrong with that undo request. It seems fine to me.
Yeah, there's no new info. I mean,
like sometimes you click on things and you don't really think about what you're doing, and then you realize, oh wait, I should have done a different thing. And if you punish people for that when there is no new info, like you're not reacting to something that happened as a consequence of doing that thing, then like people are just going to play a lot slower.
yep. But we don't have to fight over it. We can all just be friends.
Wow.
So here I'm guessing you.
I wonder if Titandrake wants that silver either, to be honest.
Who has a storyteller right now?
Titandrake just got one last turn.
Marginally better for Titan than they are for Kaplane.
Sure. Like ultimately though, on this board, I'm hoping I'm my storyteller is hitting like platinum or something.
This is a nice throne room here.
I would take 2 platina.
Yeah, I would definitely do 2 platinum.
The hero.
Oh, trash is a throne room.
Well, they're both going to get the opportunity to do that. It's exciting.
Platinum is known to be almost as good as ducat.
I just played a game where platinum was worse than bank. That's always fun.
Relic still tempting over platinum? Really?
That's a good point.
I mean, you're gonna get champion pretty soon.
It's a little too late for that.
I don't think Relic is tempting at all at this point. Like maybe earlier in the game, but I don't know.
Like if I had trashed my opponent's warrior with my own, and I was getting to hero much sooner than they were, I would seriously think about Relic over platinum.
That's fair. Yeah. So I'm assuming we're gonna see both hero to champion and warrior to hero here. Like keeping warriors around for draw is nice, but getting platinums and comboing them with storyteller seems better.
I think you could consider keeping warrior around in the short term for draw, and then adding the platina once your deck's a little under control. You're definitely taking a second hero long term.
Well, I guess the thing is that, like, before you have the champion down, there's a good chance your warrior is drawing dead anyway, so it's like not that amazing of a card to play. But I guess you might expect your champion to go down before you have deck control anyway.
Dingan is wondering if any raid will ever be bought. Just in Dominion in general? Maybe someday.
I played a game. I played a league game the other day in which raid caused the silver pile to empty. So I can answer the question that raid has been bought. At least.
Yeah, I mean with Feodum it's definitely a thing.
Yeah, there was no Feodum, it was just a lot of purchases of raid.
All
I don't exactly remember why it worked out that way, but it did.
And there's our champ.
Look at all those cards drawn. So exciting.
I feel like we're en route to a player 1 win.
All right, are we throwing Sanctuary or Warrior here?
I wanted to.
Oh, never mind. I didn't actually realize how short of a shuffle that was.
Goodbye, Warrior.
Yeah,
that's sad.
That's why I wanted to throw in the Warrior. Just get as many attacks in as you can. You don't know how long you're gonna have it be more than just a moat.
So if you're buying raid every turn and you're paying for it with a platinum, it basically makes platinum just a weaker relic.
But that depends on how many other silvers.
Relic is the stronger of the two. This debate has been settled.
Yeah, that depends on how many other silvers you have, right?
Oh, that's true. So if you have 1 silver and then you buy raid, platinum is basically completely indistinguishable from relic. +2 and hit your opponent with a -1 card attack.
Why are we still talking about relic?
Are we talking about a lot of things?
I think you're doing it's clearly bootstrap relic time.
I don't understand. I don't really understand why Titandrake did pick up the relic last turn.
I don't think I would have taken the colony there, but it's not unreasonable. So what order do you play the stuff in right now as Titandrake? Do you throne the Sanctuary, just play the Sanctuary, throne the Storyteller? I'm actually quite unsure.
I think you start off with 1 Storyteller, non-throned, and then you see what you draw.
like you might actually not want to set this copper aside because you want to maybe feed the early storyteller and then
Yeah, I
plan to
think
set up
it's
copper.
likely that you want to put a copper aside at the end of your turn rather than at the beginning when you have more information.
So I think maybe my first play here is storyteller,
platinums.
not throned, but do play the copper with it.
Yeah, that's what I was suggesting. I didn't
Right.
it particularly well.
Well, no, I think how many coppers does Titandrake have? Because if you
they had
if you have enough coppers left, you
triple
can play the copper and then exile another copper later.
Yeah,
they had
went
triple colony if they just didn't mule that storyteller.
Huh? Oh.
They muled
I didn't even. Yeah, I didn't catch that. Yeah, that's a weird. Why not just play the story? Oh, because they had a bunch of money in play from the heroes.
Oh, okay, right.
How much?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, storyteller's such a strange card.
It's still plausible they make more money by drawing through to all the platina, right?
No, there's only one extra platina they haven't drawn yet.
Oh, never mind. Then yeah, it doesn't make sense to do so.
So is kaplane
maybe
foregoing champion? Looks like it. Interesting.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you have enough throne rooms, storytellers, you've got the actions to play the heroes anyway.
Yeah, I dig it.
This is looking a little risky.
I don't think I like the sanctuary first there.
Yeah, I don't either. Didn't exile anything. That's pretty sad.
Alright, we're gonna see Plat's pile.
Makes sense.
I mean, low.
It's a really good card on this board.
So platinum is almost empty. Throne room and storyteller pretty close. Gotta be careful here. Platinum will empty on Titandrake's turn.
Yeah. Oh man, don't throw the hero.
Play the treasure hunter, draw through to all the silvers, and then buy like 3 raids.
What?
Like, I think you could pile silvers right now if you wanted to.
Kaplane didn't gain that many cards.
He gained a bunch, didn't he? Gain like 4 or 5 cards, at least more than that. So he bought 3 things, gained 1, 2 platina. So he gained 5 things.
Boo, not going for it.
I lost a game like this where my opponent played like very simple big money with just like a bajillion page line cards that got treasures or treasure hunters and heroes. And I built some huge like horse grave robber thing. And without realizing, I'd gained over 40 cards in the second to last turn. And they just played a treasure hunter and piled out the entire silver pile.
That sounds amazing, honestly.
I was like, they've only got 1 gain, so I'm going to leave, that one other pile at exactly 2, and then they can't do anything.
This is a pretty awkward position for Titandrake. Kaplane is surely capable of getting triple colony. Or maybe if with enough like throne on hero stuff, quad colony. I don't know about like how realistic that is, but
I think something like a colony in some provinces looks safe-ish.
What do you do? Colony, province, throne?
Bishop?
Sounds good to me.
Colony, province, bishop?
Bishop is not bad.
I mean, at this point, like you're certainly not worried about like the opponent trashing effect. It is more payload.
The argument against bishop, I would think, is that throning a hero, even with only golds left, still seems very good, and that would be the alternative. I would take a bishop over nothing here.
Well, sure. I mean, the piles are low, though.
So like, I don't think Kaplan can pile. Kaplan has 2 sanctuaries, so if they throw in both of those and then use a normal buy, they can get 5 things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Left. Yeah. Okay. Actually, come to think of it, I'm a little surprised. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised, but it seems like you could do some stuff with Merchant Guild here. I guess it's just there's too many other things that you want to do more than that. But
And my guess is there's just never an opportunity where Merchant Guild looked better than like Storyteller or Sanctuary.
right.
And
Starting
hero
hand,
just gives you
great.
that good payload.
I think if I'd had if I were Titandrake and I had 5 rather than 4 left at the end there, I might have considered Merchant Guild, but
Johns asks whether Titan can beat Triple Colony. I would not be at all surprised if the answer is yes. There's 30 points. Titandrake needs to do 24. Or 25, I guess. What's that, like 4 provinces and an estate?
yeah.
Seems pretty feasible to me.
Well, the buy limitation is going to be relevant there again.
Well, yes, they would actually have to throw both of their sanctuaries, which is a little awkward.
Yeah, I don't know what the throne room split is exactly, although obviously kaplane has at least 4. But it's going to be tough to throne both sanctuaries. Get that lined up. I mean, fortunately for Titandrake, like Storyteller with 2 platinum in the starting hand makes it a lot more feasible than it might have been otherwise.
Maybe that throne room. No. Yeah. It just is a little bit awkward for Titandrake because of the number of buys. How much money does Kaplane have? I'd really like it if he were to put all of his treasures in play right now, so I didn't have to count them.
He's trying to decide whether to exile a copper, though, I assume. 15 and 12, 27, 28, 29, 35, 38.
38. Ooh, yeah, Triple Colony Duchy sounds kind of nice playing.
Triple Colony Duchy makes it, significantly harder than what we were talking about for Titandrake, because then it's got to be 5 provinces to win, right? Because you can't.
You have to hit 40 while using 2 of your throne rooms on sanctuaries, which I'm not sure if his deck can do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it can, but I lean towards thinking it can't.
Yeah,
I think I like the Triple Colony here.
Alright, so he does choose to exile a copper. That doesn't seem right to me. I feel like the duchy makes a big difference. He has to be buying colony.
Agreed.
Right here, right?
I mean, actually, even an estate buy has the same effect, doesn't it?
Let's see.
Oh, okay. He's that plane has realized that he is miscounted.
Yeah. The easiest way to count is just to let the computer do it for you.
Well, but you have to decide whether to exile before you let the computer count. So
let's see. If he does Triple Colony, he's at. Well, we'll find out in a second when he does it. 53.
Yeah. So
56. So to beat 56,
Titandrake has to get to 57 because he's first player.
Yeah, so he needs to do 38 points. So this makes a difference because it means Titandrake has to do 5 provinces instead of 4 provinces and a duchy.
Wait, did we consider Titandrake throwing one of the colonies in there? How does that change the math? I mean,
oh, you're right.
One colony is cheaper than province plus duchy, and it's more points. So
let's see. Colony here brings you to 39. Then you need to do 18 more points. So colony double province duchy.
18. That's not 3 colony triple province state, right?
You're right.
So colony triple province estate is 24, 26, 37 coins, which is actually fewer than kaplane had. So I don't know that means it's doable, but I don't know. It makes it feel more doable at least.
You know what Titandrake maybe should have seriously considered is keeping the treasure hunter. So like actually just like gain all those silvers on your final turn and draw through to them. The Storyteller makes that treasure hunter worth like potentially like 5 or 6 coins.
Yeah, that might have been. It might have been tough to assume that his draw was going to line up that well.
A lot of foresight that I'm.
So I mean, you have to throne Sanctuary, right? So I think. Oh, he's deciding. Never mind. He's deciding what to play with the Storyteller, which is not trivial. 9 cards. That seems like too many. You got 2 sanctuaries in hand. You have to throne them both. Oh, I guess you're going to draw some cards off the hero, but you also have a warrior and a page. Yeah, that seems like too many cards to draw.
Yeah, Freaky seems to be correct in saying. I mean, maybe he still has enough. I haven't counted it, but like, if there was a win, I wouldn't be surprised if Throning Storyteller means there's no longer a win.
I don't think throning the Storyteller in and of itself is a problem. I think throning just too many like.
Both are big problems.
Maybe he had to throne. Maybe he had to throne hero as well.
So throning a hero here is worth like 4 extra coins.
Well, more than that because you get 5, right? Because you get gold as well.
You have to spend 1 more coin presumably to draw to that gold.
Well, given the amount of. Wait, why not?
In a world where you optimally play your storytellers,
is that last card of Titandrake a throne room?
Could be. Does Kaplane have exactly 4?
I didn't notice. No. Okay, so this is just not doable, right? Because he needs 5 buys.
Is 4 buys enough?
No. Colony Triple Province is going to be a tie. Right?
Or
unless we miscounted, which is possible.
Yeah, yeah.
39 and 18. Oh, wait, yeah, we did miscount.
Counting is hard.
Yeah, it is.
Math is like one of the most difficult parts of Dominion. I personally think we should take all the numbers out.
How much does this card cost? It's in the middle. Like, if you have a middle amount of money, then you can buy it.
Just give me some money for it. It's all good.
Let's see. All right. Oh, God, more counting. They got 10, 25, 34.
Yeah.
38.
Right. Card cost should be reduced to 1, 2, or many, and also so should card draws. So, like, Smithy just draws your entire deck.
Smithy just draws a lot of cards. You just like grab a handful of them and put them.
Just like close your eyes, grab like the top of your deck and put it in your hand. Okay.
Yeah, this looks like it wins. Yeah, so we were operating under false pretenses for a lot of this. It looks like throning both sanctuaries was not necessary.
Yeah, well, good on Titandrake for figuring that out.
Yeah. An important skill in Dominion is having elementary level mathematical abilities, which, as we've demonstrated, it cannot be assumed or taken for granted.
Yes. It turns out Titandrake also had enough extra money that they didn't actually need to throne that hero either.
Yeah, they had quite a bit of extra money there.
I'm actually surprised at how that played out. Like, it looked like kaplane had the I don't know, the advantage in terms of like endgame positioning, if not necessarily the stronger deck, but it did not work out that way.
So we have Sauna and Cav.
I think the important interaction to see here is the Sacred Grove for Sun's Gift plus Mystic combination that you get going on. That's where my eyes are headed.
Well, obviously we've got the Cursed Village Sacred Grove power combo here.
Also, with a little bit of action and overdraw, you can get Canal and then autopile altars. There's a lot of great card interactions in this kingdom. Okay. This actually is kind of interesting, because you can do draw deck stuff with Cursed Village and like Grove, Mystic, or Market, but you also got the standard draw in the form of Avanto, Research, and Cavalry. And those seem like better draw cards in the abstract, but if you're doing that, you're playing with minimal villages, which is a hindrance. I don't know exactly what you do here.
Well, one thing I know is I really want altar. So, I mean, I'm looking at like there's so many good 5s for it to pick up. Plus cavalry.
All right. Consensus of chat is Cursed Village. I think I'm sold on that. You could get fully trashed without touching saunas, which makes the Avento draw difficult because I don't want to obviously get all 5 saunas myself.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a couple altars, it might become practical to do that. I'm not sure if that ever makes sense, though.
Yeah. I'm increasingly agreeing more and more with the chat. I think they're all right.
So, what's your opening here? I'm thinking
Research Silver is the first thing that comes to mind. Seems very good at spiking 6 relative to whatever else I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm wondering about Research Loan. Like, it's probably more important to try to hit 6 aggressively than to get the extra copper thinning, but...
Counter argument. It is loan.
How is that a counter argument?
It's loan. I feel like it speaks for itself.
Not sure about that. You might need to speak for it.
Okay, I honestly can't I can't explain in words why loan is bad. I just you try to use it and it always turns out wrong.
I thought right, but that's agreeing with what I was.
Than it seems like, and
I
don't know why.
Right? Like what I was saying is, you could think about loan, but I don't know that you should. And then I don't think. Well, whatever. You go for canal here.
I would not have. I would take an altar. Canal, I guess. I mean, one redeeming quality of it is it makes cavalry cheaper, and then that becomes like an interesting thing to do.
It also makes altar itself cheaper. I mean, the autopile thing was obviously silly, but I mean, being able to use altar to gain altar is pretty sweet. Although, if you don't have an altar yet, you can't do that.
Just one little snag there.
I think 2 altars is
also makes estates cheaper for your research. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I don't know, like altar just seems like the card I very most pressingly want in my deck. You get to me Cursed Villages, which is the other card I want a lot.
Yeah.
And it trashes my cards, which are the cards I don't want a lot. I'm not following this loan as junk dealer analogy. Loan is like junk dealer that got hit by a relic attack.
Nah.
Which
I don't care about that
more like copper.
Altar. They could have still.
Something happened to your audio, Kilohertz.
And the loan can't trash your estates. Loan seems like so much worse than junk dealer.
Hey, can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
You just sounded muffled for a little bit there. Loan is junk dealer minus the dealer.
That's I think a pretty correct take.
Presumably, Malo, you get Mystic because it's virtual money that is also disappearing, so it plays nicely with draw decks. I'm not sure you actually do get it though.
I mean,
I think it's quite reasonable to think that you might get Mystic.
Yeah, I think at some point you do. You're going to focus on Cursed Villages first, and Market is also going to be a better card early on, I think. I mean, the plus buy is going to be relevant, but at some point, it's going to be a fine pickup with Altar, I think.
Oh, I see. Malo is asking more specifically about Topher's comment of Mystic as the original buy, which obviously is a bad idea. Yeah, was the early canal good? I feel like the answer is no. I was not excited by it.
Tough to tell who's ahead right now.
Let's see who's got the Cursed.
Yeah, Titandrake has the Cursed Village. It looks like Titandrake's also thinner, which stands to reason because you got the altar earlier. They both have Canal now, so I mean, I would think Titandrake, but
This is. I was gonna suggest second altar, but Curse Village is quite possibly better.
Yep, especially when you get a nice hex that doesn't do anything.
I do want a second altar probably at some point, but getting in the first Curse Village probably makes more sense.
Yeah, this is looking much better for Titandrake. It's 3-1 for Titandrake right now, right?
It is 3-1 for Titandrake, so if Titandrake
Yeah.
takes this game, the set is
Yeah.
over.
And that's, I think, a relatively substantial upset if it happens.
It would be, yeah. Titandrake is in the 40s in seed, I want to say, and kaplane is 6.
Titandrake is 38th, so you were pretty close to on the money.
Close, but no cigar.
As a non-smoking chat.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if you looked at it.
That's right. No matter how good my guess was, there was not going to be a cigar. Oh no, miserable.
Okay, Sean, it's Steam, but still. I appreciate the pedantry.
This is somewhat unfortunate. I mean, as much as like upsets, I'd much rather see more games. And this
Well,
is looking very good.
we gotta wait and see how it plays out. We haven't had too many games that have been like down to the wire, but you never know until the game's over.
Something Titandrake could have considered here. I mean, this works fine as well. I was thinking, do the buy cavalry thing before playing your Cursed Village to get like a knockoff Cursed Village Villa interaction. Seems better than playing the Cursed Village as literally just the vanilla village and then doing the cavalry buy. Did I miscount?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Get the treasures out of your hand.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Because you're gonna draw.
Yeah, I'm totally wrong. They did draw 4 with it.
Well, I was gonna say you also draw cards with cavalry, so like to some extent that's.
Yeah, I misread the log. They drew 4 total. They just drew 1 before shuffling. Yeah, that's fine then.
I was gonna say, don't guess wrong here.
Well, you might want to guess wrong. You want to leave a cav on top.
Why would you want to leave a cavalry on top, particularly?
Yeah, I don't have anything there.
Okay. I guess if you do guess wrong, make it obvious somehow. I don't know.
Need to block your opponent's gladiator.
Actually, Freaky makes a good point. If you get locusts,
I think I'd be quite fine.
War shouldn't matter if you're. Oh no! If you're buying Curse Village, then war would be bad. Yeah, so Titandrake did not pick up another Cursed Village, and instead went for Solar Sauna, which is interesting.
I'm very confused. Why is silver a good card all of a sudden? Why did they both just gain silvers?
Well, you know, with Sauna, it lets you trash, and trashing's really good, so that's obviously the move.
I would think these decks are getting to the point where you get a second altar and then that's your trashing, but
My guess is kaplane took the silver in the sort of like, I'm lost, put me out of my misery sense. And then Titandrake was like, no, let's have more games for the spectator's sake.
That
I'll
would
throw
be
them out.
rather considerate.
Yeah. They're both thinking of others here.
I
That's very
don't.
altruistic by.
Alter trashing cavalry over silver also seems strange to me. I mean, I guess this turn, it's the silver is doing more than the cavalry you couldn't play anyway, but yeah, I like having the cavalries around. Horses find your cursed villages, and then you play cavalry after you play cursed village. Then your cursed villages draw more cards. Amazing.
Yes, we're very cultured, Cave. Like a nice Greek yogurt.
So what are we altering into?
I
mean, well, Titandrake only has the one cursed village, so I mean, I definitely want another cursed village as Titandrake.
The argument against Cursed Village now is you could buy it, and buying Cursed Village means the hexes hurt a lot less than.
True. Okay, that's fair. And you could just alter into another altar, honestly.
Yeah, I think I would actually rather do anything but Cursed Village, and then I'm buying 2 Cursed Villages with my buys. A second altar sounds totally reasonable to me. You could be considering gain and play as well, with like cavalry to draw on.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind getting rid of the research at this point, if you want to use the silvers for buys. I mean, research can be nice to enable Cursed Village, granted.
Yeah, I don't think we have enough actions for gain and play this turn, Osbond.
Well, sure. I mean, you can alter into altar, and then buy cavalry and draw it, and then play the other altar.
Oh yeah, you're right. I miscounted actions.
And I'm assuming that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I would think if you're gaining an altar, you're probably buying a cavalry to then draw the altar and play it.
Right.
And the fact that they didn't play the copper makes that look very likely. Although honestly, I think I would kill the cavalry over the copper. You're not playing all these. I'm not sure what.
Well, what is the copper getting you though?
I don't know why they didn't play the copper if they were going to trash cavalry anyway. They're being very methodical about it, as if the copper not being in play was important.
I mean, I don't know.
Why are you buying cavalry now, Cave? Or are you saying the last time, like buy Curse Village before doing the cavalry draw?
That would actually, yeah, that would actually be nice, because then you can play the Cursed Village to play more cavalry.
Oh
no!
Oh, you hate to see that.
You do hate to see it.
That is
request undo. Caravan Guard will not protect you from that happening. Just, for the record.
Also, do you want to take Caravan Guard there?
I don't know. I was actually kind of expecting Sauna, given that Titandrake already has 3 Saunas, but whatever.
Why silver? Can somebody explain to me why the silvers? I don't get it.
You can't answer that question. I want my money to be coming from markets, mystics, and maybe sacred groves, not silvers.
I would agree with that.
Kaplane getting a third altar. Gonna need some food for that. So
Well,
I really don't want to be trashing
you'll find
cavalry
it, dude.
if that's the no. Don't do it. Trash research. I'm not gonna research.
I mean, it's fine. They can like get more cavalries and whatnot.
Oh, there's only 3 left. I mean, if
You get to getting cut out.
Oh my god!
no!
There's a canal.
Oh no!
Wow.
At least it happened to both players. It makes it a lot less bad.
Well, I mean, Titandrake still managed to get a caravan guard back, so it's not quite the same. Wow, another altar. That's a lot of altars.
Are they
4.
just looking to
It's many.
pile here?
No.
Altar auto pile. It's coming. Surely a cursed village. You need a lot of actions to support all those altars.
But Kaplane's also out of cavalry, which like is a potential problem for like a deck with 4 altars in it.
Do you think Titandrake is going to empty the cavalries this turn?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Although if I were Titandrake and I were paying close enough attention to notice that was going on, I would definitely be thinking about it.
Well, at this point, like Plague and such are helpful hexes for at least kaplane.
Greed.
Greed. Has it been given out yet? I don't think so.
I don't think so, no.
I'm just going to assert that they have not been given out, and then the easiest way to get a informative answer is someone will be willing to correct me if I'm wrong.
Bad Omens doesn't really do anything, most likely.
More silvers. Okay. That's just how it's going to be.
Collars? Coppers. Okay. Yeah, I'm still confused about what's happening here, but
Piles are lower than they appear. There's nothing empty yet, but cavalry and altar are very low opportunity cost piles to lower.
Yeah, I thought the adding of all those altars last turn might signify they're really going for something that empties piles and not going to try to score much.
Yeah. I think I would strongly consider putting some points on the board here as Titandrake, like a province.
Kaplane's got the -2 from Miserable, which is not insignificant. Like there's no alt VP, so and green cards are not helping these decks at all.
I'm confused. Anyway, something I was about to say was the -2 I think is important because it means Titandrake I think could reasonably just get a duchy here rather than a province if you wanted to be safe, because it's much easier I think for kaplane to acquire a duchy than it is for him to acquire
because of altar. Absolutely, yeah.
And so one duchy right now would give kaplane a 1-point lead, and so Titandrake taking a single duchy could protect against that.
Right.
But yeah, back to the perplexing state of affairs that we have upon us. Why are Aventos visible? Why can I see this card?
Titandrake's just very cold and wants to go in the sauna and warm up. Yeah, the silvers are weirder to me than the saunas. I mean, the sauna, gaining a sauna is like fine if you're just whatever reason like don't want to stop guard, but the silvers, I don't know.
And they're both doing this.
Yeah. I would trash a sauna over a cavalry there. Like, I want those cavalries. I want the horses.
Why are we... Well, on the upside, I think we might be seeing some more games after all.
I'm also confused about not playing those saunas before the Cursed Village.
You got to chain it with your Avanto to draw the 2 cards left in your deck.
It's a pretty expensive way to feed the Avanto. I mean, to feed the altar.
Especially if you're gaining it with altar.
Yeah, that doesn't like really
regurgitating your food and then eating it.
That's yeah, that's like a quintessential example of spinning. Okay, so Titandrake did empty the cavalries, so
I like that.
That a kaplane with 4 altars in deck is definitely going to have a more difficult time estate.
It prevents the duchy thing.
It does, but I don't know.
And you can't spend more than that, otherwise you can't afford your silver.
I guess.
I'm still so confused why the silvers.
Yeah. Like, why don't we want...
Why don't we want
Mystics over Silvers? Like, what is Silver doing that Mystic is not doing? I mean, you have to be able to afford the Mystic, but, like, you could gain it off of Altar. I don't know. I'm just confused.
They don't want to meddle in the dark arts. That skull is really spooky.
Yeah, the other thing that emptying the cavalry did is shut down this turn of Kaplanes. Like, there's no more draw to be had.
Yeah, it reminds me of something like, Jack Villa, and sometimes you can just grab a bunch of villas and shut the whole thing down.
Mm-hmm.
I do appreciate that Kaplane, when playing the Mystic, wished to find a King's Court on top.
I didn't catch that. Nice.
I mean, it's a wish.
Sadly,
yeah, that's true. It's like if you did find one, you'd be very happy.
Get there.
Okay, so now we're just provincing, I guess.
I don't understand what's going on right now. I'm really lost. Goons this time. Okay. I'm not sure Goons is a great card right now. It really helps your opponent's cursed villages. And without a bunch of them, you're not going to score too many points off of it.
I'd still take it.
For like an outpost, I would think.
Outpost would be pretty nice, yeah. Yeah, if you could get one card from the black market right now, what would you want?
Black would be really nice.
Black market itself would be useful now that cavalries are empty. Of course.
So is this quarter? Well, is this round of 16 or round of 32? Is it round of 32?
32.
I have to assume it's the bigger one because it's Kaplane playing. There's no way he's playing round of 16 earlier than necessary. So if Kaplane is 6th seed, then the winner of this should be playing the 11th seed in the round of.
Assuming the 11th seed is still in.
Yeah, or whoever beat the 11th seed, or whoever beat the 11th seed.
Sure.
Point being, the 11th spot of the 11th seed.
That's Pop 180. I think Pop 180 is one of the Japanese players.
Yeah.
I had not heard of them until pretty recently.
Another altar.
And like every Japanese player.
Is Kaplane looking to pile this turn? Kaplane just picked up another altar. And could empty on like altars, cursed villages.
They look to be going for it.
Yeah, I think they're gonna make it.
I think they're gonna do
altar for altar here. Or does Kaplane have any more draw left? Oh.
This should be
altar.
Enough, right?
You have to buy province. Altar.
Old Duchy Estate. Yeah, they're so close. They're so close.
Yeah.
One money
not
off.
Quite enough food.
I think this is one money away, right?
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that Kaplane had multiple altars left and didn't have any cursed villages. Should have taken cursed village there, I guess.
It's a shame that Locust has already been gotten, because what he could have done is alter
Alter
for
for-
like alter. Oh no, wait, does
Alter
it
for
grab-
alter, and then Locust turn it into a cursed village.
The problem is you'd have to get the
That doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't
work out. I wanted to. You have to get the cursed village to get the cursed village.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out a line here that works. Yeah. Even before it was just a little short.
The other thing is that because kaplane can't even buy province here.
This is true.
Plague doesn't solve the problem.
No, Plague does solve the problem.
Because what are you trashing the first time?
You gain Cursed Village first, and then
but
you
what
play your other altar.
But what are you trashing? The silver?
Altar.
But then you don't have the other altar.
He's already played an altar.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, I think I like this line. You play the altar, you trash the altar, gain the Cursed Village, and you just... Oh wait, no, he's already gotten Plague. Shoot, yeah, he can't do that either. Dang it. Okay, yeah, there's no solution.
I think it's got to be... Yeah, it's got to be Triple Duchy. Triple Duchy Estate, even...
Can you do Triple Duchy Estate?
No, never mind.
Now seems like a good time to gain some more silvers.
Where's Masterpiece when you need it?
And Titandrake's not about to dud. This looks like
I think
this match is coming to its
it does look that way. Yeah. If kaplane had gained if kaplane had gained a cursed village instead of that altar on the before the shuffle, would they have been able to do it? I don't think so. I think they still didn't have a way to, because they didn't have enough food.
My guess is there's some sequence of plays that was winning there, but there's no way you could have reasonably known it because of things like the hexes and whatnot.
That's possible too, yeah.
Yeah, this should be trivial for Titandrake. Okay, so clearly the cursed village into Sana Avento is the play.
So it would seem.
Let me surprised.
So Titandrake needs 3-1 in favor of Titandrake. Titandrake is but a tie away from advancing. Which piling and gaining province would accomplish. So Titandrake doesn't actually need to break the tie here to win the set. Also altering for a couple duchies would do it.
Wait, is it not one? Surely it's one, right? I mean, I haven't bothered to count anything. It can't not be one. It has to be.
Counting's for nerds.
Yeah, like Titandrake has a bunch of money, and there's only a few things to gain. And all I know is a bunch is more than a few.
Yeah, just alter cavalry into alter. Well, you do have to draw cards. The Cursed Village isn't going to draw very much. Only needs one more money.
Rigi says there's a win in hand. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I'm not following that.
I didn't see one either.
I mean, yeah, one short of buying province, cursed village, and altering for alter. If he alters cavalry, he draws only one card. He has to keep the estate, unless he wants to have to rebuy estate to get back into a tie. So yeah, I kind of agree with Johns. Like you just gotta go for it with drawing the one card.
Whew.
I mean, I guess
Through the wire.
I guess you could. Like the other line that you could take is you alter cavalry into duchy and then draw, and that's like rather than playing for the win, you're playing for like hoping that kaplane can't end the game ahead on points, which I don't know whether Titandrake should expect that to be realistic, but probably not.
Yeah. Kaplane's got a bajillion altars and cursed villages in his deck right now. I would not want to count on being able to.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I think I would. Yeah, alter cavalry into alter.
All right, that'll do it.
That will.
That still was much, wasn't it?
Oh, let's see what the hex is.
Greed.
Greed.
Well.
All right. Well, congrats to Titandrake.
Yeah, well played. Takes it 4-1. That's a pretty strong result.
3.5, 1.5.
Oh, sorry. You're right.
Oh, that's a very weak result.
Yeah, that is.
You're having to do better than that. You want to do top 180. All right. Good commentating with y'all.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on. And,
Yeah.
Probably see you guys in the next round of the championship. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Yep. Until next time.